I have been getting asked a lot lately about what advice I would have for new gun channels. So I thought I'd take a moment here to give some advice to new gun channels, and in doing so give a little insight into my own channel. Well, there really is no set formula for what makes a successful channel, but I will give you the benefit of my experience and let you know how I got to the levels of mediocrity that I have so far. My first bit of advice is don't worry about subs at first. Actually, don't worry about them at all. You can tell by the stuff I do. I do stuff all the time that I know is going to lose me subs. I'll do little switch ups, like I'll play devil's advocate halfway through a video knowing that there's going to be a lot of people that unsub me before they get to the actual point. And I do that just because I like to see how many reactionary people don't bother to see what they're really objecting to before they object. So I really don't worry too much about subs, and I don't think anyone should at the beginning. Now, subs will come. If you produce a good quality product, subs will come. Even when I produce the mediocre product I produce, some subs have come. So first off the bat, don't worry about subs. My main thing I'm going to tell you, the very first thing I'm going to tell you is like your subject. Don't just choose a subject because you think it's something that will get views or something that will make money. Actually have a valid interest in what you're talking about. It comes across on screen when you don't know what you're talking about, or you're not really interested in what you're talking about. I personally have been into guns since I was little. Some of the earliest photos of me have toy guns in my hand. I've always liked guns. It's something that I've always liked, and I just never knew there was such a community out there that also liked them. I just thought it was kind of an unwritten thing that most men liked guns because of where I'm from. And then I always thought that later in life, in the society that we live in, that it's just something people didn't talk about. So I never really considered it too much, but it's something I've always liked. Be honest. Now that's one of the things that I stress the most in my channel, is that I give my honest opinions, and when I want to say something, I say it. I don't really take a lot of time to consider how is this going to affect my channel, or how is this going to affect people's opinion of me, because if it's how I really feel, then that's what they should know. Now, I'm not saying you have to share every aspect of your life with people, but when you're talking about a subject, be honest, be upfront, because when you are being dishonest, or you're being disingenuous, or you're just trying to say something people want to hear, it comes across. You sound like a shill, or you sound like an idiot. I'm not a big fan of shills. I mean, there are lots of channels out there. If you only want to hear good things, there's tons of them. There's lots of boy howdies, and it's great day channels, but that's just not my style. I like to be truthful. Now, most of my videos are very positive, because most of the stuff I think is very positive. But occasionally I think of something I want to say that isn't popular, but I say it because I want to be honest with my viewers. You don't have to, I say like your subject, but you don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything about something to share an interest that you have, or a love that you have. Just talk about things you like, and talk about what you know. Don't try to talk about things you don't know. Don't read off of a manual. Don't do stuff like that. It comes across very forced. It comes across very phony. Don't sit and do a review of your gun by reading the specs out of the manual. I can read the specs in the manual. I can look the specs up online. I want to hear what your personal opinion of it is. I want to know what your feelings are. I don't want to know your knowledge of the gun. I want to know your feelings of the gun. Things like that. Just remember, don't have to be an expert. Just talk about what you know, and talk about what you like. And that'll come across very well on video. Now, another issue I want to talk about is relaxing in front of the camera. A lot of people get so nervous in front of the camera. There's no need to. You're in total control of this. You turn the camera on and off when you want. You edit it any way you want to. So there's no reason to be nervous, and there's no one there but you, which sometimes makes it harder. It's hard to talk to someone who isn't there. Now, I've had experience. People talk to me like, well, you seem to have natural ability in front of the camera. No, I don't. I'm one of the worst people in front of the camera. The only good thing about a camera frame for me is that I take up most of it. But otherwise, I've had some experience. I've done morning shows. I've done art and craft segments, so for local television stations. So when I was younger, and before I got all fat and ugly, I used to be on TV, and I used to be in front of a camera every now and then. So I've got a little bit of experience. That does give me an advantage. But otherwise, I am not a natural in front of the camera. I'm more of a writer than I am a performer. Speaking about relaxing and looking good in front of the camera, one of the things you want to do to seem relaxed and look good in front of the camera is you want to try to appear professional. You want things to look like they are the best they can be. Now, that doesn't take a lot of work. It doesn't take a lot of work for things to look professional. The two biggest sets of advice I will give you is pay attention to your background. Your background does make a big effect on your videos. Now, I do the stuff in front of my safes. I do the stuff here in front of my computer. That's not a big setup. All I did was, this is an old corner of our garage. It used to be an old laundry room before I tore down some things and opened it up and made it into a little workspace and a place for my safes. And it's just a very simple little setup. It just took some white paint and set a cabinet table up here, and I was ready to go. Very cheap, very easy, but on camera, it doesn't matter what it is in real life. In real life, it's just like a corner of a garage. But on camera, it comes across as a set, and that's what matters. You want to try to appear professional. Now, another part of appearing professional is if you don't have a cameraman, buy a tripod. A tripod really does help. It makes the camera stay steady. No one wants to watch you do this with an item. It's a pain. Buy a cheap tripod. They're not expensive. You can get them for like $12 at Target, places like that, and online. Also, take some sparse notes before you start. Like you see me glancing down here, I've got sparse notes. Like right here, here's the notes for this video. Very small amount of notes there for a pretty long video. So it doesn't have to be intensive notes. Don't sit down and write out what you're going to say, because that seems rehearsed and forced. Just put talking points here so that you know, okay, I covered that, I covered that, I covered that as I go, so you don't repeat yourself and you don't leave out things that you want to talk about and you end up having to refilm because you forgot the main topic of your video. And a part along with that appearing professional is develop an identity. Now, people will come to watch your videos just to see the Glock 30 or just to see the Sig Sauer P290. People will come just to see the actual subject of the video. But if you really want to start developing a channel, you really need to develop a persona. You need to have an identity. With me, I have developed an identity. I'm the Yankee Marshal. Now, to get into a little bit of the inside information, now how much of the Yankee Marshal is me? Well, I can tell you this. Every aspect of the Yankee Marshal is an aspect of me, and Marshall is my actual name, just so people wonder where I got that from. I am a Yankee, and Marshall's my middle name, so I'm the Yankee Marshal. That was my SAS name. It's my name on here. But every part of the Yankee Marshal's personality is a part of me. Now, it might be amplified because it's in front of the camera, but nothing about the Yankee Marshal is fake. It's just parts of me taken to build another person. Now, everything that I am is not in the Yankee Marshal. I mean, there's parts of my life that have no place on camera and have no bearing on my channel. So that I don't bring every aspect. I don't bring my fear of centipedes into my character, the Yankee Marshal. But the character does not have any traits that aren't inherent in me personally as a person. So that's really important, that you develop your character, but be true to your character. So those are the things that I can give the most advice on. And even, well, one more thing, the little logo at the end of my videos, yes, that is me. That's me from a younger, thinner time. But it is actually, if you look at the picture and you look at me, and I'll show you a picture of me in the video and the logo here. And surprisingly, that drawing was done before this picture was taken. I had to flip the picture here to get it to line up better, but that was actually, the picture was taken after the logo was already drawn. But you can still see that that is me in the logo. So that's part of my creating identity. Now, everyone's going to be able to make a logo, but just be consistent with what you present on camera and be honest with what you present on camera, and that'll help you develop an identity, have a place that actually looks a little bit professional, and just put a little work into your videos. And you'll be successful. I mean, and successful doesn't mean you'll make a ton of money, but you'll be making videos you enjoy and that you're proud of. So there's the advice I have for new channels and a little bit of a look into who I am. And I hope that can help people. I want as many successful channels as possible. I think I'm not one of these channels that thinks, well, the other channels are competition. I think we're stronger as a whole, and if everyone does well, then everybody does well. So that pretty much just said the same thing. But you get my point. So there you have it. There's the advice I have for new channels.